It doesn't take long for all of the cut pieces of baling twine to add up when you're feeding grazers. Here is a practical project for working with all of this cut baling twine. First we need a frame. This is just a 2x2 frame made out of 2x2s. It's about 36 inches by 24 inches. And I can take it off of the wall. I just like to work standing up, so that's why I've just kind of put braces on the wall to hold the frame so that I don't have to be bending over the frame all the time to do this. The nails are about 1 inch apart, and I have just L brackets on both sides of the frame, because when you're pulling the rope tight, or just even pulling it on the frame, it's good to have some stability to the frame. And then I just fasten it to the wall with a piece of braided rope, so it just gives a little bit more stability when I'm putting the rope on. What we're going to be doing is making a braided rope. So the rope will look like this, and we'll just be weaving it on the frame. First I want to show you how I get this loop and to do some of the braiding. So each piece of baling twine is a cut baling twine is about 9 feet long. They will have a knot in them. If the knot is in the middle of the twine, just go ahead and work with it. But if it's at the end, I like to cut them off. They don't need to be there if they're at the end. They're just in the way. So to start making the little loop at the beginning, just take your twine and put a loose knot a few inches down so you can start your braid. So 2 or 3 inches loose knot. And then you can use a clip or a nail and then just start braiding it. So it's just a normal braid with your always going over the center. And the twine will get all over each other and be a little difficult to work with, but it's not too bad. So I just want to braid this for a few inches until I have a good loop. And you don't need that big of a loop, but we are going to be putting twine through here, so we want it just big enough that we can easily get the twine off or through it when we're taking the mat off of the frame. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this knot out, and I have this small section of braid. I'm going to braid this end a little more just to pretty it up because it gets a little loose. Then I'm going to match my colors so that I have my green together, my blue together, and the orange together. So I have that nice loop, and now I will just keep braiding it, but I'll braid those two pieces. So I have the short piece from the knot and the long pieces. So your braid's going to be a little thicker in this area. So just keep braiding, and when you come to a knot, just work it into the braid. So it just becomes part of the braid. You can cross over it and then cross under it. So I like to work a little higher. So I will just keep moving my twine up along the nail so that I can keep working higher rather than bending over all the time. Okay, when you get down to the end of your pieces of twine, you want to keep the rope going, so we're just going to add new pieces to the old pieces to keep them going. Now these are pretty good. They're staggered at different lengths, so you'll be adding the new length on at different points, which is good because we're going to be doubling up, and it makes the rope a little thicker in those places, so we don't want all of our pieces to end at the same time, so we're adding new at the same time because that would be really thick. So we want to add pieces at different lengths. So we're going to match the colors. So for this blue one, I leave 3-4 inches, however you want to do it, and I just overlap that. And I'm holding these two together, and I will just keep braiding. So you're going to have a little tuft there, but you can pull it down a little bit if you want to, so it's not quite so tufty. And then just keep braiding it in. So you can see that it's a little thicker, but not too much. And then it just will blend in with your rope. So it's to the end of that first piece, and again you have a little tuft at the end of it too, but again that's okay. And then with the green, we'd be doing the same thing. We have our knot here at the end, and I didn't want knots at the ends, so I'll just cut that off again. And same thing, I just leave a few inches and just start braiding it in. Now I could have ended this one a little, or started this one with a few more inches so that I had more room on the orange, so I wouldn't be overlapping. But I'll show you what that overlap looks like. So if I have two pieces where I'm adding new strings and those are overlapping, then it just gets a little bunched up and thick in that spot. So you can just plan your additions more accordingly so that you don't have all of that. But that still doesn't even look too bad because we did it at different lengths enough that it didn't stay too thick for too long. And then it's just more of the same. You just keep going, keep braiding.